Chapter 9. The creamy oatmeal with sliced bananas was comforting. It slid down my throat and warmed my tummy. According to the internet, bananas, veggies, and foods high in fiber like oatmeal can sometimes cause gas. I decided to give it a try this Tuesday morning. Oatmeal today, huh, Josh? I hate oatmeal, Eddie said as he ate his Cheerios. Cheerios are made from oats, I said. Whatever, Nerd King. No, really, look on the box. Eddie read the box and laughed. Oh, yeah, it says it's made from oats. I guess I do like oatmeal. Just not the mushy oatmeal. I like it pressed into little round donut shapes. I also like donuts. That must be why I like Cheerios. Eddie slurped a huge spoonful. I couldn't follow Eddie's thinking. It was weird how he could be so smart about certain things but so clueless about others. That must be why he didn't do well in school. Lately, I noticed something interesting about Eddie. If he watched a TV show on TV, he remembered everything about it. It was like all the information got stuck in his brain forever. But if he read something, he forgot it almost instantly. I wonder if I should mention it to my dad or Allie or even Miss Waverly. Here's your healthy lunch, Allie said and handed me my lunch bag. Thanks. I'm glad to see you're eating healthy. I packed carrots, celery, and orange slices, just like you asked. I also threw in a sandwich, too. Allie handed a second bag to Eddie. I packed the same for you. What? Only one sandwich? Come on, Mom. I need at least two, Eddie said. Eddie, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but you're losing weight, and I don't think you need two sandwiches anymore, Allie said. I looked at Eddie, and he did seem to be shrinking around the middle. Maybe it was because he wasn't eating all those cookies and junk he used to take from our classmates on the bus. Fine, but could you add chips? Eddie asked. A few carrots and orange slices never hurt anyone, Allie said, going back into the kitchen. Look on the bright side, Eddie. At least we're not getting scurvy, I said. That's pretty funny, Eddie said as he chased me out of the dining room. When we came back to our classroom after lunch, this was written on the board. Pink cherry blossoms, sweet-scented, lovely petals. Springtime has arrived. This is an example of a haiku. It is a Japanese poem. Usually it focuses on a season or a time of year. You will notice that the first line has 5 syllables, the second line 7 syllables, and the third line has 5 again. It does not have to rhyme, Miss Waverly said. Please break into your groups and begin working on your haikus. We got up and moved to our stations. We should each take a different season. Then maybe Miss Waverly will put ours up on the poetry board, Marina said. Miss Waverly created a special bulletin board for our poems. She said she would pick 4 or 5 really good poems each day. Whoever she picked got to read their poem in front of the class. Marina read hers yesterday. Eddie didn't get picked yesterday. Thank goodness. You already have a poem up there, Manny said. True, but I love writing and I'm good at it, so I should get one poem up there each day, she said. Yeah, you should try to do that, I said, hoping it would limit Eddie's chances if Marina got one up each day. If Eddie didn't read his poem in front of the class, he would lose the bet. Thanks. Now, I'll take winter. Manny, you can have summer. Josh can take spring, and Eddie will take fall, she said in a bossy tone. I'm already working on spring, so buzz off, Eddie grumbled as he worked on his haiku. Fine, then Josh can take fall. She pouted. She wasn't about to cross Eddie. Sure, I said. Normally I would have told her to quit being so bossy, but I needed her as an ally. We spent the next 15 minutes writing and counting syllables on our hands. Finally, we were ready to share. Who wants to go first? Manny asked. I thought Marina would raise her hand, but she didn't. Maybe Eddie had hurt her feelings. I'll go, I said. Fall is here today. Leaves starting to fall away. Fall, 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 fall. That's good, Manny said. Marina snorted. What's wrong with it? I asked her. Well, first of all, Miss Waverly said it didn't have to rhyme, she said. She said it. She didn't say it couldn't rhyme, Manny came to my defense. She continued on as if Manny hadn't said anything. And the last line just repeats the same 5 words. I'm good with that, I answered. She just rolled her eyes. Why don't you go next, Manny? Okay, he said nervously. Now it's summertime. Let's swim in the pool all day. Splash, 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 splash. I really like it, I said. Oh, come on, it has the exact same problem yours does, Marina sighed. That's why I like it, I added. It just repeats the word splash 5 times. Why don't you help him fix it instead of being so bossy, since you're so good at writing and all, Eddie said. For a moment, the old Eddie was back. Marina looked a little stunned. That was the second time Eddie had put her in her place. She blinked a few times and looked away for a moment. Her eyes seemed a little teary. Maybe she didn't know she was bossy. Or maybe she didn't realize how hard school was for Eddie. Actually, it's not bad, Manny, but I do have a suggestion if you'd like to make it better, she said apologetically. Sure, okay, Manny said. Nothing ruffled Manny's feathers. He was good-natured. Well, maybe you could add some different words on the last line that describe swimming, she said. Yeah, like dive, I added. Or cannonball, Eddie piped in. Manny scribbled furiously at the good suggestions. He decided to take Manny's advice. I decided to change mine as well. I changed some of my words. In the end, here are how our haikus changed. Now it's summertime. Swim in the pool all day. Splash, dive, cannonball. Fall is here. Leaves start to fall away. Fall, drop, swish, slide, fall. We all agreed that they both sounded much better, even though mine still had 2 falls in it. I'll go now, Marina said, and then she added, unless you want to go next, Eddie. Nah, go ahead, he said. Brittle, delicate, icy, translucent beauty. Winter icicle. That was great, I said. What's translucent? Manny asked. It means you see light through something, but can't see through it perfectly, she added. Oh, I get it. When you look through an icicle, everything looks kind of white and funny, Manny said. Marina finally smiled. My turn, Eddie said gruffly. Spring flowers are not as beautiful as Miss Waverly, my teacher. You like Miss Waverly? Manny asked. Yeah, she's my favorite teacher. You got a problem with that? Eddie asked. No, she's nice. Manny backpedaled. Can I make a suggestion? Marina pried. Suit yourself, answered Eddie. It's just a little confusing where you break Miss Waverly's name. Yeah, it stinks, I know, Eddie said. When you write poetry, it's like you're expressing yourself. What else do you like? I mean, besides Miss Waverly. She said as a small grin played around the corners of her mouth. I guess I like Halloween. Last year I went as the swamp ape, he answered. What's a swamp ape? She said. Wow. Marina didn't know something. It's kind of like a Bigfoot, except he lives in the Everglades in Florida. Oh, yeah, and he really stinks. Sometimes he's called a skunk ape, he added. Is that why you smelled last Halloween? I asked, remembering how Eddie reeked when I passed by him while trick-or-treating. Well, not so much as passed by as when he knocked me into the bushes and took my candy. No, the costume was just really hot and I forgot to wear deodorant. Yeah, you did stink, Manny said, forgetting who he was talking to. But it was a cool costume, all big and hairy. I didn't know it was a swamp ape. I thought you were a Bigfoot. That's a common mistake. People often confuse swamp ape for Bigfoot, or Sasquatch as the Native Americans called him. Some people also confuse him with the abominable snowman, or Yeti as he's known in the Himalayas. Rumor has it that if you shoot at the swamp ape, you'll find scales underneath his fur, Eddie said. How do you know that? Manny asked. I saw it on a show called Bigfoot, the Abominable Snowman, and the Swamp Ape. You should write that down, Marina said. Okay, Eddie began writing enthusiastically. Marina and Manny turned in their poems. Don't forget the bet, I whispered to Eddie. I didn't want him to win, but I knew he couldn't put all that into a love letter to Miss Waverly in the same haiku. I needed him to fail. Eddie declared his haiku complete. Here it goes, he announced. Things I think are great. Bigfoot, Yeti, the Swamp Ape, and Miss Waverly. I even got it to rhyme, Eddie smiled. Wow, that's better than Marina's, Manly said. Marina looked shocked. I was devastated. I didn't think he could pull it off. I was wrong. Come to think of it, I'd noticed I'd been wrong more than right when it came to Eddie. I had to increase my game. While I munched happily on carrots and celery sticks, I realized that lunchtime was more fun when Eddie sat at our table. I watched Eddie look down at his orange slices and knew he wouldn't be able to eat them like a normal person. Eddie stuck an orange wedge in his mouth and pretended to be a monster. He went from table to table growling at everyone until a lunchroom monitor told him to go sit down. Too late, everyone was laughing, including me. What's that? Paul asked as he looked at my sandwich. I unwrapped the sandwich and surveyed it. It looks like some alfalfa sprouts, cucumbers, tomatoes, and some kind of white cheese on white wheat bread. It's really healthy, I told him. Wow, Allie went overboard. It doesn't look that good to me, Paul said as he bit into his peanut butter and jelly sandwich. For your information, it's delicious, I answered and took a bite. I tried to keep a smile on my face because the sandwich was awful. Although I didn't care, I just wanted it to work its magic. I looked at Eddie to see if he liked the sandwich. I watched Eddie bite into the salami and cheese sandwich on Italian bread. Then he swallowed hard and picked up another sandwich. This time it was a bologna and cheese sandwich, and he took an even bigger bite. Where'd you get those sandwiches? I asked. My question was answered when I saw Chelsea and Marina splitting the sandwich Allie had made for Eddie. What? It looked good, Chelsea said. Yeah, like a salad on bread, Marina added. It's not bad, especially after we put some ranch dressing on it, Chelsea added. I quickly grabbed a few ranch packets from the salad bar and smothered my sandwich. It tasted much better. Then, out of the blue, it happened. A glorious fart to be heard throughout the cafeteria. This time I wasn't embarrassed. I was excited. I had won my portion of the bet. The entire cafeteria burst into laughter. All eyes were on me. Why, Josh? Chelsea asked. I shrugged my shoulders like I didn't know why. Awesome, Paul said. Several teachers gave me dirty looks, but I saw a few of them laughing too. After the craziness had died down, I leaned over to Eddie. So, what do you think? I think that is the loudest fart I had ever heard. Even louder than Carter the Farter's famous farts, Eddie said. I couldn't help but beam with a little pride. Last year, Carter the Farter gave Eddie a run for his money for the best farter in school. Thanks, I said. Wait, I didn't finish. I meant to say it was the loudest fart that I had ever heard that didn't smell, Eddie smirked. Oh no, he was right. It didn't smell. It was just really loud. It had to be loud and smelly for me to win. I was really upset, and that wasn't the worst part. I felt another coming on. Great, loud with no smell. Chelsea and Marina were staring right at me with their mouths open. Maybe it was the sandwich, I said sheepishly. They both pushed Allie's homemade sandwich away. I never heard so much laughing in my life.